I can pop a boob.
Pop one. There's one pop.
Sadly. Nothing wrong with it. Mine are real. Alright. Get your head on there. Get your head on. So I'm not going to use a whole bunch of product in this little popper and all your guys have, all y'all have product in yours as well. So you don't need to use a whole bunch. This section kind of comes from a central sort of pivot point. So for me, the first section, and everything for me has a curve on it. So a lot of people will go straight. So if you go straight down the line on a round section, and then you try and blend it over, you're going to have lines in the hair. Is that, yeah? So I generally will have a starting point and have a finishing point that is more of a, like a little moon section. Doing a moon. So we should be able to get 1, 2, 3, probably 4. I wouldn't do more than that. So first section through here.
Like right where the eyebrow starts?
Yes, ma'am. So the key to doing this so it looks like a real finger wave instead of it sitting a bit baggy or a bit too far on top of the head is the tension on your section is the hairline. It's not the back of the head. Is there anything cold? Because I don't want to do what I did before and didn't do it right. So if you get lazy and you roll that up on top of the head there's so much bag in the front hairline, so when that goes to sit forward, your wave's not going to start till the crest of the nose. So it's important that when we do it, we get a little angle in there. So we're manipulating the hair as we go. And that is right to the scalp. The tongue is on the scalp. Obviously, if it's a real person, I'm not going to get away with it. But there's more drag in the back of the section, not the front of the section. So we're dragging it into there. Makes sense? So everything for me, because I didn't really talk about that earlier. So everything for me, instead of it just doing it, think of how you want it to sit. You know it's going to sit over here. You know it's going to be a finger wave. So when we put it in, we just ease that in with each section, because it's going to allow that shape to evolve a little bit more.
You guys were at the show yesterday. So remember exactly what I was saying of like, Carl knows exactly why, or one thing I've learned is I know exactly why I'm picking up the tool and using it instead of just doing it for body, because your body's telling you to do it. Like that's what I'm talking about.
And that's the reason why we do, for me, when I do hands-on, we don't use product. It's about pure technique. Because you'll be able to pick holes in your own technique, which makes you better. So if you don't critique yourself, you're never going to get better. If you go, oh, that'll do, then you'll always be a that'll do kind of hairdresser. Me, I've never, ever, I've set, the amount of times I've set hair in almost 21 years, I would hate to think. And not every single time I've done it, it's never been the same. And that's what I find interesting. It's either hair texture, it's I've got a bad technique, I'm lazy, could be anything. And I could, I say to most people, I do in Europe, have a whole day, but I could do a whole day on teaching you that many techniques with this. I'm going to watch my man. I could teach a whole day on just tonging hair, whether it's got a clutch on it, clutch off, different sizes. You can do Marcel, there's so many things you can do, and people just think you just wrap hair around it. Which you do as well, obviously. So I don't ribbon the hair. In other words, I don't lay it super, super flat. I do have a little, it's not really a twist, it's the fact I don't let go of the hair. And I push it in. So I push it together so it acts like a spring. So I'm only going to go around 4 times. And then I've got that motorbike action to get it closer to the roots. So we don't need to get too much of the ends in, it's just that frontal wave. The other thing is, when your curl is set, because when I take the tongue out, it doesn't move. If your hair relaxes too early, it's not set. You haven't changed the bonds of the hair. When you pull a curl after setting it, you should feel it snap. That means the bonds have set to a particular shape. So when I've relaxed it and the hair hasn't moved, it means the hair's set. I then hold that just for a few seconds, just so that the bonds start to cool down in that shape. If I drop it straight away, the bonds start to relax too early. Yep. Sometimes if I want really bouncy hair, I'll actually squeeze that in my hand. I'll really squeeze it tight like you would with a GHD, wrapping it in your hand and flat ironing it, which I don't recommend because it's crap. So once it's not as hot, so we're done. So that's going to get that wormy wave. Other really important thing, because I love tonguing hair, I find it fascinating. If you drop the hair, like if you do it 1, 2 and you burn yourself and you accidentally drop it, you've got to hit it with product again. You've got to give the hair elasticity again. You can't just curl hair you've dropped. If it's already been on the heat for a bit, then you drop it. You need to put a little bit of spray back on the hair because there's no elasticity in the hair. There's no moisture. Yes, Avon. So it's really important if you drop it accidentally that you hit it again with a light spray of anti-gravity spray, because that's obviously the best setting lotion. So we're going to go in through there. The other really good thing is the reason why I push it all together, because people always tell me, oh, I've run out of tongue. How can you run out of tongue? I mean, how long's the hair? Down to her ankles? I've never run out of tongue in my life. The hair's too long for the tongue. Well, push the damn thing in. You know, like, how can you run out of tongue? I mean, this thing's long. A long tongue. It's a long tongue. Got to take my eye out. So you shouldn't run out of tongue, so that's why you always push it closer. The other thing is, what does a spring do when it's compact? Well, it springs, doesn't it? Otherwise it's just a piece of wire. So the really important thing is, when we compact our curl in, when we brush it out, it has 10 times the amount of action on it, yeah? So if we keep it compact when we brush it, you're going to get more expansion. If you ribbon wrap down a tongue so the hair's flat and it goes into that really ugly Shirley Temple type of thing, you're not going to get expansion from the hair, you're just going to get movement, and it looks ugly. It looks like an American TV show host, which is just not my thing. So those ends, don't worry about those too much. They're going to be tucked in the back. Another really big thing for me with tonguing, is hair doesn't curl hair.
Oh.
It just never will. I know it sounds surprising, doesn't it? People are like, oh yeah, but I'm just going to get lazy and wrap hair back over because I don't want to burn my finger. And then it goes, and you brush it out and it's all really curly and it looks really shitty on the ends. Hair doesn't curl hair as much as you would really like it to. So you have 30% hair there. Yeah? So there's only 30% hair there to 100%, pretty much 100% there. So if I was to wrap this the whole way, get it all clean. See, that's no good. She's not, I don't like you. Is she not clothes? So if I was to wrap this all the way to the ends, I would leave that off anyway. Wait till the hair's hot, because this takes twice as long. So once this is hot and set, so hot and set. It's hot right now. Watching tongue hair is so boring. Like punching yourself in the face. So if that was hot, which is not quite, once it's really hot, I just basically slowly wrap that end on. Are you joking? So once you slowly wrap that hair on, because it's so thin, it's all set. Yeah? So don't cheat. Cheating, you will not get good hair. The other thing is the sweat. When you've got a lot of product in the hair, if I'm using a lot of product for big hair, I blow dry every time because it locks more product in the hair and gets rid of what I don't need. If you just sandblast a whole bunch of product in and you're using a lot, you put it on a tongue, it's going to get, you know how it gets wet and sweaty? it takes you ages to get rid of that product first because hair can only absorb a certain amount. See, now it's too curly on the ends and it'll freak me out later. It's like
a meow. It's like an old pig. It's like a happy tail.
dish tea. Where was I going?
Don't do that.
That's what I've got to read.
You were insulting American TV hosts.
I was. I love assaulting them. I love assaulting.
I have a question.
Yes.
Obviously, I know that you're favoring your placement
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
rod, smaller here.
Uh-huh.
But if you wanted to do the smaller, tighter ones like on top of each other,
Mhm.
could you move up your volume here?
Yes.
And
If
do
I
that?
wanted to have a corrugation all
Yeah.
the way through, then this would be 3 or 4 sections.
Would you do it like down here and then split this one so it'd be 2 rows and then one here and one here?
It would be exactly the same section,
Uh-huh.
just inside.
Okay, perfect.
So it'd be like I call this a tennis ball section.
Yeah.
So, so I'd do exactly the same inside.
Yeah.
I'd leave that out of section 1 and I'd come from here.
Yeah.
Still kind of muted a little bit.
It'd be exactly the same.
Okay.
So it'd just be 2 sections exactly the same inside each other. So then that would go that way and then that would go on top.
So it'd be more.
Yeah. Personally, I would finger wave it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Would
tonguing
be the
it.
best.
Yeah.
Best way.
But if I teach finger wave, half people go, they hate
You
it.
do it
People-
tighter one that way.
Yeah.
As far as like more texture.
Yep. And I'd also then blow dry them together
Yeah.
because you're going to get a smoother corrugation. So heat is your best friend when you're doing this sort of stuff because what makes a wave perfect is that all of the little bits of hair are friends. And so to make them friends, you just hit that with a little bit of heat and a little bit of tension with your brush and they're all like, oh, I just love you. So, you know, if your corrugation is slightly out, if you just keep brushing that and add a little bit of heat, it will meld together. The other bits of hair teach the other bits of hair, you need to get in line, fella. If you don't, you will get beaten. The sweat thing, that's what I was going to rubbish on about. So when your hair is a little bit sweaty with too much product, I blow dry my hair first before I put a tong on it. So that all the nutrients and the product that I want is in the hair so that when I tong it, the texture's perfect. Otherwise you've got to heat the hair up too much. And if you push all the moisture out of the hair with all curly hair, doesn't matter whether it's natural or fake, it's going to go straight. If you keep heating the hair up because you think it has to be dry and crispy, your curl's going to come out. It needs moisture. You need to actually lock in vitamins to the hair for it to have elasticity and bounce. A lot of people don't. They keep heating up curl, heating it up, and they're like, yep, that pastry's flaky, and then they brush it and that it doesn't sit well and it's really staticky. How many people have GHD'd hair or flat ironed hair once, slowly, and it's perfect and flat and beautiful? And then you pick it up again and you go over it 3 or 4 more times because you think you're going to get it flatter and straighter, which is impossible. And all of a sudden it goes fluffy because you're actually turning the cuticle inside out. You're freaking the cuticle out because when you do it once, you're locking the nutrients into the pockets so that a hair cuticle is actually like that. So you've got pockets of colour and pockets of nutrients inside the cuticle layer. Obviously the cuticle goes that way. So when you iron it, it locks all that down, the nutrients and the moisture stay inside. If I then go over that again, you actually start bending those follicles out, the nutrients, you're burning the nutrients out. So that's why with a curling iron, with wrapping it around until it's hot and it's cooked and you're ready to pull that out, you'll get a perfect curl. With a GHD or a flat iron, when you're trying to make it curly, you have to do the exact same thing at exact same pressure, doing exactly the same speed for it to be the same. Otherwise, that'll fall out and that won't. So on a client, it's quick and easy, but if you want perfect hair, you have to use something like this. It's a proper setting tool. So I've done it in 4 sections. So all I want you to do, for you guys that you can borrow this one, so just 4 sections all pivoting from that, and you want to kind of feel like it's naturally flowing that way itself. Leave the ends out, because if you do the ends, it's too hard to get the next bit in. Is everyone cool?
Yeah.